Oh, that feels a little bit toxic, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Feels sad, actually.
But how often do we, as humans, choose the toxic path? Because it's easier than confronting our
real deep-seated wounds and our hurts. But I think sometimes that's our reflection for each other.
Truly.
Right? Where is those wounds? How are we going to heal them? You and I think both have this sort of enough knowledge, maybe, or lack of a better term, that instead of becoming that toxic, ugly self, you and I have enough that we know to heal through it.
Well, I think you and I have had the
constantly
I don't
healing.
know. Constantly, through our whole lives. We've had enough trauma in our lives where we've learned, like, we now trust the process in a way where it's like, okay, even though we know we're about to be a goopy, gross caterpillar inside that cocoon, we know on the other side is the butterfly stage. So even though this feels horrible and it's not comfortable and I don't want to do it, we know that it gets better. We have hope.
Anyway, okay, we're back.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to episode 2. Episode 2. All right, I'm just going to start out. First of all, hi, you're listening and watching to Call the Millers, a podcast with the Millers. You'll have to forgive our technical difficulties. We had the mics in the last episode, but the audio, there's a problem with our technical box thing. This is my husband's area. We thought it was working well. The audio sounded awful, and so we are just going with the boom option on the camera. So this will be fixed by episode 3. We are sorry, but thank you for just hanging out.
Nothing is perfect.
No, and you just do it anyway.
Yeah, you call the Millers anyway,
right?
Just like my uncle out of nowhere. Yeah, call the Millers.
Call the Millers, right? Okay, so
hi, how are you?
Welcome. Hi, how are you?
It's been a while. No,
yes.
no,
we're filming back to back. Okay, this is the only way that a mom of 4 who does everything I do and a freaking busy midwife can sit down and film these, is we have to back film a few of them so that we can kind of have a batch so that you guys get them consistently, because who knows, birth happens.
Have some grace. Birth happens.
Yeah.
Mumming happens. Life happens.
So welcome. If this is your first time visiting us and hanging out with the Millers, then do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Janna, one of the midwives here, and
the only midwife here.
The only midwife in this room here.
Yes.
And yeah, I have 2 boys, like we talk about, and we've made this happen. We've got a few things to say, apparently.
Yes, apparently.
For sure.
And I'm Rainbow. I am a herbalist, a doula, a mom of 4 busy children, and I kind of orchestrate the podcast and the social medias and the YouTubes and everything. So if you're listening,
I show up with baking and for coffee.
She shows up with muffins this morning. My kids are like,
Auntie Janna. I love it.
Immediately eat muffins.
Have muffins. Eat your muffins.
I love that though. There's something so special. She comes in and immediately starts cleaning my baby's breakfast high chair so he can sit down for a moment. I was like, stop, you don't have to clean my house. And she's like, yes, just let me.
Yes, let me
clean it. But that's that's community.
Yes.
That's community.
This is what we, even to as a side note, it's we talk about this all the time, what we don't let each other do. I am happy to clean up a high chair.
Let people come into your mess.
Yes, come into your mess.
Because if you wait for it to be perfect, you're not going to have the community you want.
And your mess at your life is your mess, it's different than my mess at mine.
Yes.
Right? It's just different. If we would just, again, talk we talk about this community, about being lonely, all of the things.
And let's stop making assumptions about what people think about us and our messes and everything. For you, going back into toddler, busy little kid mess, that's nostalgic.
Oh, my heart just, I love it.
Yeah, your kids are
22 and 18. It's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah,
right.
Totally
it's
different.
Just a different time. I don't love the bigger kids, bigger problems. I don't believe in that stuff at all.
Mm-mm.
I believe in bigger kids, and what I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful that they're, do I miss that time? Oh, honestly. But we can't turn back time.
No, we can't.
Right?
We have to appreciate
we can't, which is going to lead us into this episode of regret.
Yeah.
Right? How do we get there? So when I come into this, it's not a mess to me. I love a lived-in house.
Yeah.
I love happy children. I know that it's this moment in time that all I can see is this. I don't know what kind of night you had.
There's life happening.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Great nights are awesome, right?
We've been struggling with sleep a little bit.
But that's also that we just never know what's gone on for anyone else. Give it the last hour.
Well, you show up sometimes and you're like, hey, I haven't slept in 24 hours.
I'm tired.
Yes. And I'm like, and you never know what you're getting in somebody.
And maybe today I am a disaster. And maybe, that just is. It's like my sister said to me yesterday on the phone. She's like, just be the disaster.
Just show up anyway.
Thank you, sister.
Show up anyway.
I was like, just be it. Get yourself, and not every day is like, oh, I'm totally together.
No.
No, not every.
But that doesn't mean we have to cancel the plans.
No, we don't need to, because the people that love you the most in your life will accept you for who you are.
Yes.
Right? We talk about this again too. So if I was to walk in here and judge you on your lived in home with your 4 children and all of the things, that's my problem.
Well, then there's that piece too. If we can't accept people in their messes, how are we supposed to let people accept us in ours?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's, I think, where a lot of people struggle with community. Totally. I feel like there's going to be this overarching theme in our podcast episodes where we talk a lot about women being lonely and community and the importance of women having each other. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really big problem in our society. And I think everybody knows that. If you're a woman, you feel it. Yeah. But whether or not we talk about that a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we're starting to piece together, until we get to an episode where we really talk about it in depth. Yeah. We're putting together these little pieces of, well, how did we get here? Absolutely. How do we let ourselves sit in this? What are all the things that we can recognize about ourselves, about each other, that allow this disconnect to stay?
Yeah, and our greatest judgments.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine if I walked in here and judged you for being lived in your home, all of the things, then all of the things that I miss?
Well, truly.
Right? Your children are happy. They're joyful. It's hilarious.
Well, I had to correct one of my kids in the middle of it, but that's life.
Your life.
And being comfortable to do that.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? And feeling safe, all of the things, safe enough, trust this process. And again, not feeling judged. Like, that is so
even true. My kids, to know that, just because Auntie Jane is here doesn't mean we're going to get away with it.
Oh, no, he totally didn't. I was like, no.
So funny.
You're super cute and everything, but that is not going to work today.
That's not going to happen.
But that's also it, right? Like, trusting.
Yeah.
In that, which is the bigger piece of this, right? Community. When we don't live, like, historically, our grandmas would have disciplined us.
Truly.
Right? Or our aunts, like, someone else would have stepped in and said,
and how is that affecting our kids who don't know how to take direction from people that aren't us?
Else. Absolutely.
And what pressure does that put on moms? Oh my gosh, you guys. Woo! That's not what we came here to talk to you guys about. No. Today, we came to talk about... So, in the last episode, if you heard it, we kind of pick the heart of every episode. We try and decide, okay, like, here's what we're going to talk about today, but what's the heart of this? Yeah. And today our heart is hope. Hope. Mm-hmm. And I think the best way, we had a lot of curiosities in the pilot episode. I mentioned that my last 2 children are vasectomy-reversal babies. I think it's easy for us to launch into, since I'm comfortable sharing a lot of my personal stories.
Yes.
I think it's a really easy time for me to share, but then also to use these stories as talking points and launching points, I think. Because it's complicated when you're in birth, you really can't share some of the experiences you've had outside of your own intimate perspective.
Yes.
Right?
So, absolutely. I mean, if any of that comes up, there'll be a whole other way of permission, or people can speak about their stories eventually.
Again, call the Millers. Maybe we'll have some people call in and share their stories.
That's a great, great idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah.
But I do think that's true. Careful and all of the things. But also, with that said, all of those experiences just keep building that foundation.
Truly.
Right? So, which I think is where we're going to go here with the hope piece of this, because at the end of Grayson's postpartum and us parting our ways at that time, you and I had an experience where potentially that could have ended our relationship.
And again, if you didn't listen or watch, go back and watch the last one where we talk about my oldest son's birth and how we that was our first time working together, meeting, all of that. But then, at the end of his postpartum visit, I remember I was like bubbling with baby fever. Well, just because it was the euphoria of that experience.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah,
absolutely. We had talked about, like, I forget how you'd said it in the first pilot about like you were going to miss this relationship.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to miss you so much. Like, I didn't know how to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, it was like, oof.
Yeah.
That was great. But then there's also like that little bit of hope, right? That we were not.
I knew, that's the thing that we didn't mention in the pilot episode was, even though we were saying goodbye, I think we both knew this weird feeling that like this was not goodbye. We would see each other again.
But I also think we didn't know all the connections and all of the like not birth related.
There was just something like like for me, from my perspective, I was like, this is not the last time we're talking.
No, that was so interesting. Yeah, it's super interesting because I had met another woman just the other day. It's a bit of a long story. We don't need to get into it today, but you know when you know there's something else, but you can't, like, you're like, oh, I can't quite figure it out. And I think that does happen more often than not. It's like if you're going to put energy into figure it out or not. And once we start, you just start diving into this, like, how did we get here? Like, we don't know what's going to look like that. I mean, that's like magic and fortune telling, but it's how did you and I know? Like, there was something, because can I say?
Yeah.
Because when we were done, I think that you did know that you wanted to have more children. I think I've always regretted not.
I think on the inside I knew.
I think you did too.
Yeah.
And I think I have always regretted not. I do speak about that quite openly.
And we're going to get a little bit deeper into that in this episode.
Yeah, a little touch on that, which will probably lead into a greater episode on that. But I remember you were speaking about Cody getting a vasectomy. Yeah. And I was like, what? No,
don't do that.
like I think probably sometimes I have to be careful of my face because my face was probably like, what? And I remember saying no.
And it was such a funny thing where you're like, oh, like, I feel like from my perspective watching you say that, you were like, oh, they won't do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. There's no way you would do it. And I remember thinking no. And I remember saying to you, you guys are so young.
Yeah.
That's a big decision.
We were 22.
Yes. And yes, you had 2 babies.
Yeah.
You guys were doing awesome, your life, all these things. But I remember saying, no, you're too young. Don't do it. Which might have been a little bit overstepping my space at the time.
I think we needed people to say that. I think we needed that.
And I think sometimes my intuition kicks in pretty good. Or
we still did it. Yeah. That's what this episode is about. We still did it. But I think our decision to do it was rooted in a bit of fear.
Fair enough.
We were young.
Yeah.
We were fine, but we didn't have a ton of money.
Yeah.
It was really hard to see, like, oh my gosh, how are we going to, like, expand and grow and have all this abundance that you have? You see people in their 30s to 40s and they're established. They've got their stuff together. They have their couple kids. You have to understand that I had my daughter at 18. We were married at 18 and then had her later that year. And everybody else in our, like, parenting peer group, they were all in their 30s.
Of course they were.
Late 20s, 30s, some of them older. We were the babies by far. I remember my first baby group, and I was so young, and they kind of were like, whoa. Because they were all in their 30s. They had these big, beautiful homes. And I was like, whoa, I am so...
Well, then suddenly we decide that that's the dream.
That's the standard.
Right? You want that big house and all of the things.
And you have to get it.
You gotta.
Right?
Right, because that's going to make you happy.
Right.
That is what we're going to aspire to.
Yeah.
That is it. You've been sold the dream.
Yes.
Right? Like, where did we go wrong?
The white picket fence, the Joneses.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And that you could, by the time you're 40, you guys could have your kids out of the house.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Wild. So, for us, it was a little bit fear-based, I think, because we were very fertile people. Like, we did not have to really try for either of our babies. Very lucky in that way. When we were young. Yeah, of course, right? Like, that happens a lot of the time. I think we were quite worried that if we didn't do something, and I was not willing to go on hormonal birth control because it really messed me up. I had been on it a few years, and it was like a whole experience. I wasn't willing to go back on it. I didn't want any foreign objects in my body, nothing like that. So it felt like the only option. Yeah. And it was relatively like, that's back then, it was becoming normal or becoming like this is just an easy option the guy can do, right? Yeah. And we didn't know what we know now and what we're discovering about them. And it was like, if you change your mind later, you can just get it reversed. It's not a big deal. We knew we would have, we felt like we would have too many babies too soon if we didn't do something.
Right.
So that's kind of, and my husband was really adamant about his decision. And for me, I was being very diplomatic, and I was like, I can be content with what I have. Look at this beautiful life I have.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, your opinion on your body matters too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I let him make the decision. I booked the appointment.
You did.
I don't think I've ever told you that.
I don't think I knew that.
I booked the appointment. Wild. It makes me like a little bit emotional.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's like
gets us here.
But then I think about all of the beautiful things that have happened since.
Right.
And I wouldn't have the little boys.
Right, that's part of this. That is,
Yeah.
and part of that, like, release. Like, you and I were just talking about, like, what wounds do you and I have? What are we going to reflect each other in? I think this is a
I didn't
big
expect
one.
to, like, get emotional.
Well, maybe because we've never really talked about what that actually meant for you and the responsibility. Like, I talk about radical responsibility.
Yes.
That's radically responsible, Rainbow, to just say right now, I actually booked that appointment.
Yeah.
I booked it.
I took
Right?
full... I mean, I've been on
You did.
YouTube for a long time, so if you're watching, then, like, I've been vlogging since after Grayson was born, and I sat down and had a chat about why we were done having kids.
Interesting.
And I can see... And it's not a naive thing. Like, that was the right decision for us in that moment.
Yes.
To not have any more children right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine if we would have chosen any other way, because again, I wouldn't have the two amazing little boys
Well, this
that I
is the
have
crazy
now.
part about this.
And
story.
Cody and I maybe wouldn't have grown the way we have. And like, we've really had an easy marriage. And this was a really tough, it was the toughest thing we've done in our marriage is decide whether or not we were having more kids.
And it's something that have you had an easy marriage, or have you worked really hard?
I think
You
both.
guys-
I think
you
Cody and
are-
I are very compatible,
absolutely.
but I think it's because we've chosen
It's a choice.
to, orbit each other.
Absolutely. Highs and
Right.
lows, ebbs and flows, right? This
Which
is,
has given us an easy marriage.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah,
So don't
it hasn't
underestimate that
come
either.
easily to us.
No.
Because I always tell my kids, to my older kids now, like, be careful, because Dad and I are the exception. We're not the rule. Most people are divorced when they get
True.
married that young. Most people they don't make it.
No.
Most people don't make it past their first kid, like in a lot of marriages.
Absolutely.
Never mind a marriage that started at 18.
Absolutely.
So
Your stats were a little hard, right? They were
Mhm.
against you, for sure. But the piece of it is like the responsibility of saying that you did it, right?
I did it. And I have to
Which
take
now-
the accountability for it.
You do.
My husband is a very, like, he's got ADHD, he procrastinates, like, about everything. He probably wouldn't have booked that appointment for ages. We probably would have gotten pregnant again with a third
Yeah, maybe.
if I would have left it up to him, which is why I took the reins back then.
Oh, and at that time, that was the right thing to do.
Truly.
Where regret is a funny word, right? We shouldn't really live in that, but we do. But okay, we can't live in regret. Let's just say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that got you here.
Yeah, so then I went the next, I spent about 5 years trying to get, so Cody got the vasectomy when Grayson was 8 months old.
Still
I
a
remember.
baby.
Yeah, it was Halloween,
Oh,
which is hilarious.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? And he got that done, and it was just quick. I remember we were supposed to, I was supposed to apparently attend the appointment and sign something, but this one didn't even require it. They were like, no,
Wow.
not a big deal. They didn't interview him. They didn't do anything. This 22-year-old guy going in to get a vasectomy, and they were like, sure,
Wow.
give me your money. There we go.
No.
Which is like, looking back, that's like, whew, so many red flags there.
So interesting.
But yeah, we had gotten it when he was 8 months old, and then he turned 1. And I was like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Because I started to feel like myself again. And I started to get, that 1 year mark is really big.
Huge.
Postpartum. And you start you're like, whoa, there I am.
Yeah.
Here's this new me that I'm used to living in this body for a year. And
I used to
figuring
joke and say the first birthday wasn't about your baby. It was that you're all alive, you're all
Yes,
okay.
we
Look,
made
you're like,
it.
We did this. We got through
We
1
did
year.
it.
Right?
And not even in a bad way, but like we did the
No.
growth. We were the
Yes.
Mishka caterpillar, and now we are
Yeah.
the butterfly.
With maybe one
Maybe a
wing up.
moth.
Maybe a moth. Not a lot of color, but some moth.
Not a lot of color, yeah. Oh,
Right?
gosh.
So
Truly.
true.
Yeah, but
So that's when it hit you.
that's when it hit me. And then I
Yeah.
spent the next 5 years trying to get over that feeling.
Wow.
Trying to be like, okay, how do I just be content? Because I thought for a little while that it was just me not being content in what I had.
Right.
Because I kind of have that personality where if I don't check myself, I want to reach for the next thing.
Right.
Whatever, like, and just always be looking forward
yes.
instead of being present.
Absolutely.
And so I really did so much self-work and healing work in those 5 years, and trying to figure out, like, okay, is this something I can get over and move on from?
Mm-hmm.
And then we left baby stage, and it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still there, and it was still there. And then it was finally time to talk about, okay, this isn't going away for me.
Yeah.
And that was, like, big.
Huge.
That was big.
That's a big statement.
Because he was very content.
Mm-hmm.
He liked our life, and he was like, this is great. And the kids are older now, and, Gray was...
And they've kind of got you back. Like, they're kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were doing fun things, and we were out of the baby stage, and we had no more diapers, and we had no more little... Like, we weren't carrying around a diaper bag anymore.
Yeah.
And, it was...
The kids could run around and walk, and we could do
stuff. And, yeah.
Absolutely.
We could sleep again. And there was that part, and he was just enjoying that, because that's the difference between Cody and I. I'm always looking ahead and always kind of thinking about the future and reflecting on things like that. And maybe it's an ADHD thing for him. Maybe. He's always in the present.
Right.
If he's happy now, he's happy. He doesn't really think too far ahead, which is amazing. And I admire that. Like, I pull from that so much. Yeah. And he teaches me so much that I think I need to learn from that. But in this moment, he was just like, well, I'm just happy now. I'm fine. I don't need to change anything. And for me, it was this moment where I was like, when I really sat with myself and thought about being an old woman on my porch, and my kids coming home for Christmas or something, I was like, I am going to deeply regret not having any more. And I have the choice to change it now and fix it, or live with this regret, build resentment, and have it tear our marriage apart. Because I knew how strongly I felt. And I knew this was only going to get worse the older I got. Yeah. And so we had to have that really hard conversation of, I know you're done, but I realized I'm not. Yeah. And now it was in his court too. Like, are you going to do, because it's your body that is the issue here. Like, decide, you need to decide, are you willing to go through a surgery? Are we willing to financially do this? Because this is the thing they don't tell you, or they didn't back then, when they're like, oh, you can just get it reversed. They are so expensive. Yeah,
it's not a lighthearted at all.
And they're not covered. Nope. They are so expensive. Like, to just put it in perspective, you don't want just a normal urologist to do it. You want somebody that's been doing them every day to know, because you only really get one shot at reversing it. I mean, you can go for more, like, it's complicated, but you want to go with somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah. And for that, there was a choice in Ontario, and there was a choice in Vancouver, but the Vancouver one was a little bit weird. The Ontario one, flights, the hotel stay that is required for that procedure in Ontario, and the procedure, nothing covered, about $20,000. Wow. That's huge when you're in your 20s and you have 2 kids, and you're like,
how badly do I want this?
And where do you even come up with that, right? Yeah. Like, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
But I don't know, did we just like...
You made the decision.
Yeah. He, like, after a long time, a lot of back and forth, he was like, no, our thing was, I will regret not having any more. You're never going to regret the one kid at the table that we had. You're never going to be like, hey, you, Steven.
No, yeah.
Shouldn't have had you. And he was like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
And that was kind of well, okay, this makes sense to do then. And it wasn't something he necessarily he wanted for himself super hard. But he wanted it for me.
Because he loves you.
Because he loves me.
You're married.
And he was like, I don't want to lose you ever. I don't want you to resent me. And he's like, I am going to be happy with another child. He's like, it's not necessarily what I want, but you are what I want. And our family
that's the give and take of a marriage.
It is.
Right? What are you willing to give? Right?
Truly. And this was like this.
It's a big, you made a big decision at the time.
And I don't want to make it sound like I strong-armed him into it, because that was definitely not what happened.
No, not at all.
He chose it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even go to the reversal, because we ended up going to America because it was way cheaper, and there was a better doctor who that's all he did. He was one of the world leading vasectomy-reversal doctors.
So interesting.
And oh gosh, there's so many layers to it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, but let's then go jump right ahead.
Yeah.
So all went down.
Mm-hmm.
Cody did it. And here we are.
Oh my gosh.
So talk about how you came back into my life again there. How did that all...
So then...
That wasn't an easy part of that, right?
No. I think the first time I just realized this the other day, I actually had a chemical pregnancy, like a very, very early loss, right the same month he had his reversal.
Oh,
like that first cycle, I did get pregnant.
Right.
And I think that's when I reached out to you to let you know, because I didn't have any experience with loss before. And it was so early, and I was like, what is this? So I dug out your email.
Still think it's funny. But
and I found you, and I was like, hey, do you remember me? I don't know if you remember me, but this is what happened. This is the journey we've been on. Reversed it. Got pregnant, I think. I talked to you about it. And then I'm like, so is it okay if when we are pregnant and I confirm it and everything that, can you help me?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Right.
Yeah. And it really brought us right back in.
That was, well, it's like that friendship thing, right? You don't always have to be together every day to be together. Like, it just is your...
And that was that's the moment that we became what we are now.
Yeah.
Like, you came for that first visit and we were done.
Yeah.
That was it.
Not even like old times, because we didn't have that old time kind of relationship yet, but it just felt totally normal.
We gave each other like the permission to just be friends.
Yes.
And it was just easy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to see, for me, how much you had grown, big decisions that you had made, being such a great mom, all of the things that are exactly what we look for in really great, true friends in our lives,
Yeah.
Strong women making big decisions, all of those things, which got us to sort of that idea, I think, even when we go back then, that sense of community, right?
Yes.
Like, how are we going to manage? How are we going to make this be okay for you? And I mean, you were having another baby with almost a decade between your last.
Yeah, I think they're 8 years.
8 years, Grayson.
Almost 9.
Yeah.
Because Zeg was born at the end of December and Grayson turned 9 in February. So, yeah, it was almost 9 years between babies. By the time we made the decision, it took us a long time to hunt for a place to do the reversal. Right. And then it was COVID. And so we couldn't get out for a while, and we got him out in this tiny pocket of, because we're Canadian, and you weren't allowed to fly for most of that. And there was this, maybe 4 week span in the summer. Oh, I think when did I get it done? 2021, maybe? In the summer of 21?
Yeah, it must have been. It must have been, yeah.
And there was this pocket where he was going to be able to fly into America and fly back without too much fuss.
Divine timing.
And so we just did it.
Did all the things.
We just did it. And and then it's just... It's hard to find the words for all of it. But then I think there was another layer that you and I bonded with, because I think... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you saw a little bit of yourself in me.
Oh my goodness, of course I did.
Making that decision.
Absolutely. Or that feeling, not even I don't understand, I'm not sure what I would call it, but I speak about that. There was that, I was just so happy that you had made the decision that you did, because I know the feeling of not having all the babies that you thought you were going to have, or that you thought you should have.
And we talked about that.
Yeah.
I think you were a big part of solidifying. I had already solidified my feelings, but I don't know if I would have went on to have more kids after my third, after the vasectomy-reversal baby. You just made me so confident in being, I don't know what the word is here, but you made me confident in my decision in a way that I thought about the perspective of being older and having that time pass where I didn't have the option anymore to have more babies. And then you shared some of your story, and it really solidified in me that like, wow, this was the right decision for me.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad I trusted and was brave enough to trust what I wanted.
And to speak your truth.
Yeah.
When we don't speak our truth and we go invisible for a while, it will come out somewhere.
Yeah, and it was hard, and it was messy for a little bit there. Like, Cody and I really had to put everything on the table and be like, all right, what do we both want?
And what does this look like for our family already, our existing family? And now, my goodness, if you walk into this, I can't even imagine it any other way.
No, they were always meant to be there with this age gap, with everything. It's so special.
So special. But I think, again, for, all persevering all of the things, but also having such a lovely relationship that the two of you can speak that truth honestly.
Yeah, and have those really hard conversations.
Hard conversations. And what do the roles mean? I mean, what is this going to look like in those times? And I think that is another piece where you're such a great example about communication. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes we don't really like what we have to hear or what we have to say. So you've been a really great example for me in that. I'm not saying my boundaries are awesome. Sometimes like a little wishy-washy, right? Welcome to the world. Yeah. But I think that you've been that all of our words, even if they're not exactly, we haven't thought them all through and got there, and they feel like they're going to be hard, they probably need to be heard.
Yeah, say the thing.
Say it. Get it out of your body.
Because I always say, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I say the fear out loud. Everything blows up, and
Absolutely.
For me, it was like this ends my marriage.
Yeah.
Would I be comfortable sitting in a marriage where like I'm not getting what I truly want in my life? I wasn't comfortable with that. Yeah. Totally. And then once I made that decision, then we would say, what are you comfortable with?
And if you absolutely said, no way, there's no way, all of the things, that does feel like rejection. But there's just this awesome person that just told me this the other day, rejection is just a redirection.
Redirection.
It would have something else would have
done it. If that was meant to be our path,
absolutely.
Something else would have done it.
Absolutely. But honestly, that was not your path. You were meant to have more babies. I think in our hearts we always knew you were.
Grayson was never the baby of the family.
Well, and he was never your that.
No, he didn't have that energy about him. He still doesn't. He was not meant to be.
No,
the baby of the family.
Yeah, for sure. Which then brings us back, because that's where we came back to, is that you were pregnant with Zeg.
Yeah.
Right, and so that got us to that next. All right, this is awesome. And I guess the actually kind of cool thing about that for me is that I don't even know how to say it in a nice,
just say it.
But even that you'd want me to come back and help you.
Of course I would.
Right? But how fun. We did all our visits
at home. But this is the thing. You didn't understand at that time the impact you made on my life in Grayson's birth.
That's fair.
For you were just not just doing your job, but you did your job as you do all the time. And we went our separate ways.
Yeah.
You do all the time.
Yeah.
And you had no idea truly the actual immense impact that you had on my life.
I'm so grateful for sure. I'm glad for it, because then it was
nobody else was going to be my midwife. Absolutely not. Even if you weren't practicing, I was like, well, too bad.
Bring your bag. Right. What do you got in them
What do you got today?
Right.
Rip up the towels.
and you really, the day that you birthed Zeg was a very I'll be very careful with this, but a very impactful day for midwifery in this province.
We'll share Zeg's birth.
Yeah, eventually here.
Yeah.
It will get us there. But it was such a day of the world lined up for all of us involved in midwifery in Alberta, more Calgary at that time. For who was going to be at your birth.
Yes.
All of the things that really what we looked at was honestly divine timing for his birth.
Oh my gosh, his birth. I'm excited to talk about his birth when we do, because hearing you talk about it is interesting to me, because it's your birth. It's the craziest day. You remember it forever. It's so impactful to you. But to hear what it meant for you as well, and that you remember so much of it, and that you felt so much, and it was a transition and a transformation for you as well. That's really special and unique to hear as well.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
But
and I think there also is the piece that we speak about, your what you were doing in your life, the reflection of mine,
Yeah.
And not that I was going to push you to have more babies. That's not what I meant, because I wasn't going to live through you for that.
No.
But I think that I didn't want you to ever wish you had.
Yep.
Right? And I'll speak from that very humbly, and for my own, that really is one thing that I really wish I had done.
Yeah.
And I know that, I know that in my life. Apparently I'm coming back to do it one more time this life on this awesome planet.
Right.
But because my mothering of children isn't completed. And I've always known that.
Yeah.
And I do feel like my intuition of a lot of women, I know that about a lot of women. And we do say that, like, after your babies, if you know that you're done, women really know, for the most part, they are done.
Yeah.
You are a little tricky.
Yeah.
But also when women have had a baby and they just know they're not.
Yes.
They just
and
know
I think if
not.
I was being, I don't know, if I was in a different stage of my life where I had done, again, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now without that experience.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was being very honest with myself back then, I would have known I wasn't done.
True.
But I was doing that. Again, I learned a big lesson in that. I was making a decision. I was kind of being a bit of a martyr for my husband.
Interesting.
And not because he wanted me to or anything. I just thought I was being selfless, or it was a lesson that I needed to learn to actually speak up for myself and to take up the space that I need to take up.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We can make a big decision together. It might be hard. This is going to throw our plan maybe off a little bit, but the greater plan is where you are now.
And hope.
Right? Because if you had lost hope and you had I know some people don't believe in hope. I strive on hope. Hope
has gotten me through my entire life. Some people, I don't think we'll ever, I don't know if we have a lot of history. I have a lot of, I've talked about it on YouTube before, a long time ago. I come from a very rocky childhood. I've had a rough upbringing. And when people hear my story, a lot of times they go, how did you turn out like this? Mm-hmm. And it's hope. Mm-hmm. I have always had this little shining nugget of hope in me. A little glimmer. And that's all I need. That's all you need.
Yeah, as long as you can see it.
You need to just focus on it and grab it and hold on for dear life.
Yeah, sometimes you are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, right? After 5 years of not knowing, being oh, maybe I'll get over it, there was just this little piece of hope. And even through the hard conversations, it was because I could feel my baby on the other side of it.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know how the heck we were going to get there.
Yeah.
At one point, I didn't know, is this actually going to be with my husband and the man I love? It's just, is my life about to explode and go a different direction? I didn't know, but I could feel them, and I could feel that hope of them, and I just hung on to it.
Yeah,
for
you
life.
just know they're there,
right?
Right, they're here. You just what an interesting thing to think that was your life going to blow up. Maybe Cody wasn't going to be the dad.
Maybe he would have said absolutely not, and we would be at complete, because we were at a very strong impasse. He was very content with what his decision, and when we first started talking about it, he was like, no, my answer is no for me. And I was like, okay, well, it's yes for me. What do we do?
But also what society was doing to you.
Yes.
2 is enough. It's really hard
2
to function with more than 2.
That's all we heard. We couldn't invite anybody else to this conversation or even tell anybody that we were having this, which was lonely in itself.
I bet.
Because everybody was like, well, you have a boy and a girl. Perfect. The perfect little family. Just be happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right? You're healthy, your baby's healthy. What? No.
And I mean,
that's not fair.
We could talk about that in many different ways. I mean, I'm not super secretive. I'm pretty open online, but even, I've had a couple of losses since my last baby, and I do worry about talking about it sometimes online, because people are like, well, I already have 4. Just be happy.
Yeah.
Why? And it's not about that.
No, I'm not in a competition with you about your family size.
Yes.
That's so odd.
And it's not that I'm not satisfied with what I have. This is just so ingrained into me.
Yeah. It's who you are.
It's who I am. And it's not like I'm not going to have a purpose when they all grow and fly the nest. I will be done. There is a time where I'm done, and I'll feel that.
Of course.
And I know I can feel it coming. But
do you ever think the judgment of it is envy? Do you ever think people feel like that?
Well, how do you feel? Because you are somebody that really wanted more children, and you didn't. And you could have gone the road of envy. You could have gone down that road.
That's true.
So people who are similar, who chose envy instead.
Ooh, that feels a little bit toxic, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Feels sad, actually.
But how often do we, as humans, choose the toxic path? Because it's easier than confronting our
real deep-seated wounds and our hurts. But I think sometimes that's our reflection for each other.
Truly.
Right? Where's those wounds? How are we going to heal them? You and I think are both have this sort of enough knowledge, maybe, or lack of a better term, that instead of becoming that toxic, ugly self, you and I have enough that we know to heal through it.
Well, I think you and I have had the
constantly
I don't
healing.
know. Constantly, through our whole lives. We've had enough trauma in our lives where we've learned, like, we now trust the process in a way where it's like, okay, even though we know we're about to be a goopy, gross caterpillar inside that cocoon, we know on the other side is the butterfly stage. So even though this feels horrible and it's not comfortable and I don't want to do it, we know that it gets better. We have hope. We can see on the other side. And I think some people just don't know how to see the other side.
True. It just feels so dismal.
It does.
Right? We're talking about, I have a beautiful woman in my life who just call her our life coach. She helps us in so many things. We're speaking about ascension and just moving through the layers the other day. And it's sort of that same idea where we have a cocoon with ends in a butterfly, or we're stuck in the cement.
Yeah.
Right? It's really hard to get out of that.
The basement of your life.
The basement of your life. And then you maybe might get to the mud stage if you can chip away from that. I think very few people chip away the cement.
Yeah, they just go, oh, this is cement. Impossible.
Can't move. Not going to look for any hope. I'm not going to look for any possibilities. And, we talked about that too. Instead of doubting everything, what about a possibility?
Well, that's the thing too. It's like chipping away at the cement of the basement of your life. If you're cemented in, sometimes a freaking jackhammer comes down out of nowhere and you're out in a second.
And let somebody help you jackhammer out of there.
Right?
Are you
and that
willing?
Can happen.
Are you willing to do that though? Because once you do that,
are you willing to let Are you willing to let people see your ugly caterpillar stage?
It's really interesting. I don't talk I've talked to other people about not having. I don't have more children. I think the depth of the grief for me, I don't speak about that often.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting because that was a cement part of my life.
It was.
Yeah. And it took a few jackhammers and a few people to help me jackhammer that away. And I will always be grateful for my children. You could not give me a greater gift than the boys. And I mean that. And if they're listening, it's not about you. It's about me. It's and they know that. That's been a discussion for sure. It's not the lack of them. It was my
they weren't
own,
anything. No, you're not saying that they're
self-worth. Not speaking up for myself or being in a place where I really, could have said, this is a deal breaker for me,
Yeah.
And I kept always going, oh, I could, this, whatever. And that's such a safe, let's just keep working and not really do what we want, all the things, which just turns into a mothering wound.
And it turns into resentment. And I think the only reason I was able to see that ahead, again, I'm very good at looking into my future and empathizing with future versions of me. I can kind of take myself out of my life and look at it from a bird's eye view. Sometimes.
Which is the best way to do that.
Which is. Absolutely. And I think everybody has the ability to do that. I'm not special for being able to do that. A little bit of being an empath. I think you and I have that in common, obviously. But empathizing with future me who didn't have any more.
Right.
And really sitting in that for a second of, okay, how does she feel? And imagining that. And then I think it's again, divine timing when you really opened up to me on my couch that day about how you felt not having any more. It was just it was just the confirmation that I needed. But it was also hard to have that conversation because it was very brave of you to tell me that. Thanks. But also brave because to say that to somebody who is doing what you wish you would have done.
True.
There's so many layers. You didn't have to share that. You could have chosen jealousy.
But also maybe this is part of the wisdom and all of the things of it. The share of that is I didn't want you to ever feel like this.
Well, because it was coming from a good place.
Yeah, I didn't. No harm intended.
No.
Which might be also the communication piece that you and I got to that place where we could speak like that.
Yeah.
Right?
And maybe that was the really big boulder that just carved it all out.
Yeah, it wasn't a dump on you. It was more of a learn from my example.
Well, you even asked me if I had the space to hear it. And I think
thank goodness for that.
Right? And that's how
Oh
it's always
gosh,
been.
honestly, but I do, if I really think of who I am in my true authentic self, that would have been my intention for you.
Yeah.
Is that you don't want to be sitting,
No.
getting divorced and being sad because you didn't really stand up for what you wanted
and I
who
saw
you really
that, and
are.
not in a bad way of like, oh, because I admire you so much, and you're
Right back at you.
seriously,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to cry. But I could see that being my path in you.
Interesting, yeah.
And I was like, wow, this really did change my life.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for it.
And maybe that's a reflection of, for right now, for me, the lead by example.
Yes.
Even to go back into midwifery, be the example.
Yeah.
Right? Be the art of midwifery.
Well, even sharing this story, every time I talk about this, people are really interested in vasectomy reversal.
Yeah.
What? People think it's wild when I talk about this, but I could have felt shame and never shared about this. I could have left the internet and had my babies quietly and not done anything because I was so like, oh, we're done. And I was trying to really build confidence in the fact that we'd made this decision. We were fine with it.
Right.
And we were. It wasn't a lie at the time. But I don't think I was being honest with myself. And it would be very easy for the ego side of me to be like, well, actually, I don't want people to know that we decided we were wrong. And this is the wrongness, and this is us undoing what we decided, and this is what it looks like, and these are the messy parts, because it wasn't easy for us. Yeah. Getting to Zeg wasn't an easy process. It took us a while to get pregnant with him. That's a whole other thing. These 2 babies are freaking miracles because our vasectomy reversal didn't really work.
Right. We
are clinically infertile. And yet, here we are.
Here they are. Yeah,
and that's hope.
That's hope.
That didn't bother me when I heard that. It's, divine timing and all of that. We'll talk about that in Zeg's birth, but when I found out that I was pregnant with Zeg the same morning, Cody had gone off to get his first analysis after the surgery.
Right.
And it was delayed because of all the COVID stuff. It was 7 months later. He was finally going for this second appointment to go see what was going on and if it worked. And that morning while he was gone, I found out I was pregnant. And then we get the call later that afternoon being like, oh, sorry guys, it's not looking good. Didn't matter. We were pregnant.
We're good.
Right? And
totally.
And I didn't care what they said, because I was like, no.
Didn't matter.
No. And even when I decided to have another baby, when we decided to have another baby, not we. I just gestured to Janna.
Just making sure I'm in the country. No, I'm just kidding.
So funny.
We're going to get pregnant on Janna's schedule. That's amazing.
No, hilarious.
Just kidding.
But
just kidding.
I didn't even question anything with going into a 4th. I just knew that he was there and waiting. I could feel him, and it was hope.
Did I not say to you after?
Oh, you did?
I feel like you're going to have a baby.
And I was like, you're crazy.
Nope, I'm not. I remember it just automatic. I honestly feel like it's kind of the same way.
Which is funny. You even told me in that moment, and 4 is not it for you.
No.
And I was like, okay, you are wild. What are you?
You're fired. You're fired. Right? Oh my gosh. It's so true though. But that is honestly, if you go all the way back and sort of like you said, you never gave up.
Yeah.
You never gave up hope.
Truly.
I know, it's amazing. Look at you.
And then how do we do that? How do we not give up hope? We just have to hold on to that little spark. Find it. You have it.
And sometimes it really is just like you said, a glimmer. And it's not very bright, but it is there.
Okay, but going through, I'm not going to talk about all of our trauma again, like I said. I don't know if this experience is the same for you, but I feel like we taught ourselves to hang on to that hope. It doesn't come naturally, necessarily.
I would agree, because if you're always handed hope, you don't. No. It's not
it's a deep instinctual thing. We want to find hope, but I think we have to teach ourselves to find the hope and hold on to it.
Yeah, and sometimes it isn't always all there. You do have to look, and it might not be there right in that moment, but it's also the ability to get through that moment.
And it might not come the way you think it will.
We can say, oh, we can see the head.
Yeah.
Right? That means nothing until you know or feel or can sense. And
even that moment of like, reach down and feel your baby, feel how progressed you are. Like, look what you're doing. And some women are scared of that.
Yeah.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But does that play into it too? Why are we scared to know?
Mm-hmm. Why are we? Isn't that true?
Oh gosh, we could talk about this in another podcast.
Yes.
Like, why are we scared to touch our own bodies and to learn this about ourselves? And
why? It's a lot of things.
We have a lot of impact.
All right.
Oh gosh.
Good.
Okay. Hope.
Okay, so the go forward for this week, find something to be hopeful about.
Yeah, where's
There's
your hope?
always something. And if you need hope, just reach out.
Yep, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Find it in you. Where is it? Where's the spark?
Where
You'll
is
see it. Look for it. You'll find it.
Absolutely, you will.
Hold on tight.
Till next time.
All okay,
right.
so if you enjoyed listening/watching, please make sure you are downloading our episodes. If you're listening, subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment if you want to chat with us. That's so helpful, you guys, just to engage in the podcast in any way you can. It helps us get the word out to other people who need to hear this. Maybe that one person that really needs to hear this is your friend that you shared this podcast with, or whomever. Yep. You never know. If you're watching this, then make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of these. And just thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Because it's not easy all the time to take an hour out of your day to listen. So thank you.
I say listen to half an hour, put away half an hour. Totally.
However you get through it, right?
Right. All right. Have a great week.
Okay. Bye, guys.